Hey guys, it's Andre from the High Performance Academy, and we're here with Joseph from Autometer. Now, Autometer have just released their brand new full colour dash display, and I wanted to just take some time to talk to Joseph about how that came about. Now, Joseph, it's a pretty awesome looking display. We were talking a little bit earlier, and you said that the development of this has actually come out of Nascar, which is quite interesting. NASCAR has kind of always been known for their older technology. You guys are already doing pretty good. You kind of had the old style gauges, you had the tachos, oil pressure, etc. in those cars. So how did it all turn to digital?
Well, when NASCAR made the switch over to EFI, McLaren was brought in to manage sort of the ignition and fuel function of that. As part of that progression in new technology, NASCAR wanted to update the way that information was displayed to the driver. So working directly with our teams and working with the engineers at McLaren, we put together our LCD dash display system to integrate directly with their CAN bus, as well as use some discrete sensors, things that weren't on the McLaren CAN bus that were critical for driver communication.
So you can take all of the data from the McLaren control ECU and the NASCAR, but you can also add in additional sensors if the teams want?
That's correct. That's correct. It's an incredibly robust platform where we can integrate with CAN serial bus data, or CAN bus data, serial bus data. We can use every variety of discrete sender that we're aware of existing, be that pulse analog, 0 to 5 volt, resistive sensors, and that can all be configured within the software suite that's included with the dash.
Okay, so this dash unit you've got, is this solely a display unit, or can the teams actually data log through that dash as well?
Depending on the configuration, there is full data acquisition capabilities built into the dash. We can sample every channel at 500 times a second for a 48-hour endurance race. That can be integrated with our digital video solution, so we can have 4 cameras and then overlay that data within that program.
Okay, so this technology has been developed for NASCAR. Obviously, everything sort of trickles down the line to the street car guys. So this product isn't quite available yet for street cars?
Street applications, we are looking at shipping likely January, February, early 2014. So you can see the car we have in the booth here has one of them. They'll be competing in the Autometer Invitational this weekend. The Detroit Speed Camaro is also running the dash for the Invitational. So we've been strategically testing the device with some of our core race teams that we work with over the year to really get the product dialed in and perfect before it's shipping out to the general public.
One other thing I want to touch on the dash as well is you've got an integrated shift light, basically a LED array that you can use for a shift light function, yes?
Yeah, correct. Not only shift light warning indication, that's totally configurable. They're multicolor LEDs, so the user can pick the colors when they illuminate, whether they want a progressive shift, move in, move out, move across. The goal really is improving driver safety. We want the driver focused straight ahead, and then the dash with its super bright LEDs is able to communicate to the driver when there's something they potentially need to pay attention to. And integrated with the software as well, you'll see some of the different screens here. If, say, a temperature issue is present, you'll get those warnings, but then the temperature gauge will blow up in the screen and become very large to say, this is what we need to be paying attention to right now.
Now, that for me is one of the big advantages that I've seen. Obviously, over the years, we've had a shift away from the old analog style gauges, which Autometer are still obviously very well known for. And the problem when you've got that is, say, maybe you've got 5 or 6 gauges, maybe you've got oil temperature, oil pressure, fuel pressure. It's really hard for the driver to actually focus on those gauges. You're trying to do the job, you're trying to drive the car and give 100% of your focus to that. So seeing one of those gauges go outside of parameter is really difficult. Now, the advantage with these new digital displays we're seeing from a lot of manufacturers and now Autometer is you can set those parameters, so if anything does go out of order, it'll bring on that warning light. So straight away it's bringing the driver's attention to, hey, something's not right. Look at the dash and straight away you know what that is. So that's a huge advantage to the driver, yes?
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, yeah, it's focusing on the job at hand. You know, back in the day, you would see the analog gauges where the driver would have them clocked to a certain position so the needle faced straight up. And then we moved on to, you know, our Elite Series gauges where they had different color warning indications. The gauges would change color as they were moving. One of the things that the teams liked with that was they could set the color for normal operation to off, where the gauge didn't call any attention to itself. It was operating within the specified parameters. Then if something was wrong, it would light up. And this is just taking that to the next level. You know, in a perfect world, you're winning races, nothing's going wrong with the car. You shouldn't even be looking at it. You know, when things go wrong or when life happens, it's great to have a system that integrates as seamlessly as possible into the driving experience.
Lastly, I just want to talk, I guess, about where this technology is going. As I said, Autometer are well known for your existing range of analog gauges. Is that a range that you see might start tapering off with these full colour displays coming in, or is that something that's still going to be a huge amount of demand for?
We think it's really in addition to our core product line. It serves as a halo product of sorts. I mean, it's definitely designed for the professional race team, but we see that technology trickle down through our core lines as well. Obviously, we're grateful for the position we've held in the market for a very long time, and we never want to neglect what our core competencies are. But you know, Autometer is an engineering firm. You know, the technology that goes into this dash is some of the same technology that we use in black boxes for F-16 fighter jets, or you know, digital video systems for solid fuel rocket boosters. The giant squid that was discovered was using stack digital video recording technology. So,
I guess the other question I've got, and I know everyone watching will want to know, is it too early for us to get an indication of a price point on this product?
We are expecting, and obviously these are configured to the individual applications, but we would expect the systems to come in somewhere in the $4,500 range. What we looked at in that market segment was really systems that, you know, companies like Magneti Marelli or Bosch were doing, that they do a fantastic job with. We wanted to mirror that function set and then add a number of other options and features in a ruggedized extreme environment housing. You know, that market segment is the $8,000 to $12,000 range, but due to our economies of scale, we were able to get the price to a level that's more affordable for the professional race team.
Okay, look, Joseph, great product. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us.
No, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
For online tuning courses, visit learntotune.com.